We're gonna find out.
All right. Hello. Welcome, Race Brain Podcast. My name is Rich Ryan, joined as always by Bracken Crocker. Jack has taken the week off. Later, we're going to have special guest Lauren Smith jump on again as we are preparing for Hyrox World Championships. We're going to be drafting. BK, are you fired up? I saw you had a good result over in New York.
Me?
An indirect good result. You can claim that, right?
I claim Tyler's result is mine.
Your
Yeah.
ticket got sold and dude popped one off.
I'm a sub 60 Hyrox guy now.
Just like that, you are associated with it. You could have been that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna talk Hyrox New York off the jump, and then we're just gonna do lots of Hyrox World Championships. What'd you hear about New York?
People seemed to like it. You had turf, which was different. There were some issues with that.
Mm,
If you got a bad lane, you didn't like it.
mm,
But the course was congested. It was crazy, but people seemed to like the event
mm.
overall.
It got picked up. I saw it on one of the news, the fitness media outlets that kind of covers more the business side of things, and the way that it kind of framed it was like Hyrox makes this leap with this event, kind of this like spectacle of a thing, and the way that it looked from the drone, like zoomed out, it did look like
Like
something
a
was
festival.
happening. Yeah, it looked really cool, and I bet it was just madness there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. This 2 week stretch here is like our Super Bowl kind of.
Oh
This
yeah.
episode is now like instantly in my mind, it's top three most exciting for the year because with Spartan World Championships pretty much losing all its luster, the National Series losing almost all its luster, trifecta, there's rumors now of they're thinking about it maybe doesn't happen because there's reg is so low. Like who knows how bad the rumors are
Mm,
versus
mm,
what the reality is, but
mhm.
like this might just be the best event of the year now.
And that, and because of how well Hyrox has built up its product and how well
Yeah.
the the performances are coming along on course. It's not just like, hey, Spartan was great and now, it's treading water. So there's some like exciting stuff to look forward to for this race.
I gave them credit for having momentum 3 months ago. Like, if that was momentum, this is a tsunami now. They are riding this wave, and for New York's numbers to be what we've never seen in the US before, and
Hmm.
now ride that right into World Championship. And we had a Lula that was this epic showdown. We didn't get to watch it, and then nothing came from it. There was no follow-up announcement. There was no follow-up event.
Right.
The next national series race was difficult to watch again. And so it just like stopped. Whereas Hyrox is again just building higher and higher. And I still like OCR more than I like Hyrox.
How dare
I
you?
like running more than I like Hyrox, but
No,
I
stop
like
this.
following Hyrox more than either of those two right now because it's well, maybe not running. Running's a hot area right now
Running's
with,
fun.
but Hyrox is just rolling right now.
And we don't know, like running exists. It has existed. We kind of,
Hmm.
and the performances that we see, they're incrementally improving. But is it going to have like this explosive growth? And where could this go? If it does grow, it's going to be very slowly. There's going to be minor shifts in the industry, minor shifts with the athlete stories. But for this, it's like, whew, I don't even know what this is going to look like at in Nice. Like it might be crazy. It might be like next level, or it might just be
Yeah.
the same, like a small progression from what they did last year. And even that would be really solid because last year's coverage and last year like the spectacle seemed fantastic.
Running just had its biggest growth in performance in the last 35 years during COVID. Like since the EPO era, it had the biggest boom with COVID training time and super shoes. They had the biggest advancements in times in the last 30 years of running. And we were talking single digit seconds in most events, double digit seconds in the women's 10K.
Yeah, right,
Hyrox is dropping astronomically
right.
compared to that. And the
There's
growth rate is astronomical.
the growth rate is what's very exciting. The times and everything a little bit explainable, and that kind of brings me into New York a little bit. But also I wanted to ask you about where these type of events kind of fit, and this New York event because the new turf, the outdoor setting, the heat. in terms of a sport and performance, you kind of have to throw it out. But in terms of like an event, it seemed like next level. And
Mhm.
Hyrox has done a couple of these over the years. I mean, we saw them in Berlin at that outdoor like hangar or whatever. We saw them outside in Miami on the beach. There might be some here or there, but do you think we'll see like what is the value of
Mhm.
the spectacle versus the value of the consistency of sport?
Well, I think the value is extremely high
Both
because,
for
yeah,
what the
for
spectacle?
for both.
Hmm.
Yeah, because name me an endurance sport where we get to say the word spectacle.
It's true. That's
Right?
true.
Other sports have spectacles. Endurance has fans, and they have consistency of sport. So for years, I tried to make the comparison that OCR was like MMA and it was like Ironman. Growth trends I thought were about the same, multiple modalities kind of the same. And eventually I had to just accept the fact that they were going to fumble it, unlike MMA, and they weren't Ironman. I wanted
Hmm.
to believe that they were, but they're not. It was an easy comparison, but it's wrong. But I think Hyrox is, where
Is both
is Ironman.
is Iron Man. I yeah.
And I think the value in the spectacle is that they have the Ironman venues where it is the same test every single time, and it is not the same. And they do track time. This person
Hmm.
ran a 7:19. It's like, yeah, but what does it mean? It doesn't matter. There's time, there's spectacle. People pay an ungodly amount to travel and enter, and it builds to the world championship, which course is nothing like the regular season course, but it's the same distance, mostly, give or take. And it seems to work for that sport. And I think it can work for this. We have spectacle and we have sport. And as long as they find a way to make sure that the right people arrive at the championships, which Ironman typically does,
Hmm.
I think it's good.
So there's room for both. There's room for both.
In my unlearned opinion, yes. Spectacle grows the sport. The sport justifies the spectacle.
Hmm. All right. I'll accept this. Oh, Lauren just dropped in. I want to get her opinion on this too. We're bringing her in.
Bringer.
Bringing it in. And she's
Wow, that's
here.
upside down and
Upside
dark, isn't
down.
it? How we
You're
doing?
here. We are
Why am I so dark?
just like that hotel lighting. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
meant there, not meant for
It
podcasting professionals.
it is not in. There we
Oh,
go.
there
The
we are.
camera is
There
like
we go.
adjusting.
Yeah. We're live, not live. We're recording though. We are recording.
That
Lauren
is all
Smith,
good.
thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so excited. You were great when we had you on last time. You have great perspective, awesome knowledge of the sport. And plus, I'm so excited to have you here because I kicked your buns so bad in fantasy last time that I figured we'll bring you back because I like to win and BK's on a huge losing streak. So it's all gravy for
So
me,
this
man.
is my redemption story.
We'll
That's what
see.
you're saying. This is my the
It's
ultimate
gonna be a
time for me
short
to potentially
story.
redeem it. Yeah, I
You,
know. Because I'm going to crash and burn again.
you
Yeah,
got your
that's the hope. That's why we wanted you on, but really we needed a cupcake walk through win.
that's it.
You needed Bracken. You needed the win, right? You needed someone just to fall below you.
Yeah,
Let's
I have gone from good to bad real quick, and I've got to right this ship.
So, Lauren, we were talking. How much did you catch of that New York event that High Rocks put on?
Honestly, only social media because I was at an event with my affiliate, but it looked incredible. And it had some big names competing. Like, I assume you're going to come at me with the CrossFit names who are there.
I could if you want. You want the whole Invictus team made it out there, fresh off of a victory of the West Coast Classic.
It's very cool, right? The fact that they're willing to just be like, yo, we just won the semifinals and now I'm going to come and race a High Rocks.
Flew across the country to make it there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just like little names. Josh Alchama won the CrossFit Games last year as
Hmm.
part of a team with that Invictus team. So it's very cool that, and this was his second Hyrox, I believe. So it's cool that he's kind of
Hmm.
floating between the two sports, just kind of for a bit of fun. And obviously with that Puma deal being kind of paramount, but yeah,
That's
epic.
a bit of a reason behind it. But so with these like epic events, there's Hyrox seems to like the spectacle of the sport a bit, but when you put him in these extravagant venues, the performances are skewed against what would be a standardized course. So I'd love your opinion on that, like where there's room for the spectacle versus the sport, and like can it be one and the same, or how do you feel like they should go in terms of like a business decision versus a sport decision?
Oh, that is a tough question because I'm not willing to put myself out there as a spokesperson for Hyrox.
Well, Brad
But
can just answer the whole thing. He's no sports person.
I love the standalone kind of spectacle races. I think it's it needs to be very community driven, but it's incredible, right? You know, you're on the harbor in the Hudson in New York as your backdrop, no different to being at Flügen Tempelhof in the middle of Germany where World War II planes used to come in and land. Like those ones for me are the ones that if I knew more about it in advance, which I didn't really know a huge amount about those in advance, I would have booked them immediately as a fan of the sport to race in those epic locations. Can you compare them directly to kind of other races? Probably less so, but no different to London. I don't think London is a fair comparison because the amount of people who are racing at the same time. So like you just fall straight back into that argument. You know, there are no direct comparisons in this sport except for those who are racing on the same track at the same day to qualify for things.
Maybe that's just the thing. Like it doesn't even matter. You know,
Yeah.
we all just know
I
at
think it
this
depends on the
point.
take, right?
Yeah, at this point, we all just know these courses aren't right. And
You said standard course, the spectacle versus a more standard course. Like what is the standard Hyrox course? Give me that one.
That's a great question. The
What is it?
Yeah.
Estocolm,
Chicago? Estocolm would be great.
LA, Madrid. Like we have like a 4 to 5 minute swing based on the Jack Bauer, what were they? Bauer's official obstacle bias stats.
Something like that.
Yeah. Acronym notwithstanding. There is no standard. And if there's no standard, then spectacle plays. It draws eyes. We've never had more media coverage of Hyrox in one weekend than we had this past weekend. And it was on a spectacle. It wasn't on a world championship, but now the eyes are on and Worlds is here. We have something for them to follow up on.
And not cleverly placed in the calendar, some might say.
Yeah. You think that's intentional?
Yep.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, then from that perspective, it's great because, yeah, like I said, it was getting picked up by different media outlets and showing that, hey, this is a really cool thing. And again, it's going to grow it a little more.
I have a theory, Rich. I have a prediction.
Let's hear it.
So we had Invictus there. Eyes on the Puma deal. Hyrox, CrossFit, are the worlds integrating or colliding? Puma's a big deal. Maybe there's some money there. There's some interest. Then they're going to tune in and they're going to watch potentially Hunter McIntyre get the biggest screen share on there, the most time on camera, potentially a win, a lot of money. And they're going to say, isn't that joker who tried to come into our sport and he's dominating this? And it just pulls. There's a vacuum effect. They have to come over and shut him up. And now CrossFit enters the chat and the sport is even bigger than it's ever been.
Lauren, from more of the, like, you're an affiliate owner, right?
Yeah.
So you're in it from that perspective, and you're on the sidelines, you're with the elite athletes and for the everyday athlete. Are the CrossFitters, if they saw Hunter being the poster child, does that legitimize the sport, or is that a knock on the sport?
That's a horrible question to
Yeah.
me.
We don't have.
I have actually nothing for respect for Hunter and what he can achieve in his domain. And is he legitimate in Hyrox? Absolutely. He is unfreaking believable.
Oh, he would beat everybody.
Did he come into CrossFit, give it all that?
Yes.
And then fall on his ass? Yes, he did. But he was hit with a very specific skill that up until that point potentially hadn't really been kind of floated into the programming of CrossFit to the extent in which it was the year he came in. So I don't think CrossFitters quite really understand what Hunter is truly capable of. But at the same time, like, I don't think it's something they necessarily chase after. I'm not sure they give any real thought to Hunter. Like, I don't think they would go, oh, we need to go and beat him. We need to knock him down a peg or two. I don't
Not
think
that we
that's
have to, but could we? If we're not a top
we?
10 guy or girl and we're not
I think-
making 50 grand to be here, should I try this? If he can do it, should I just try it, get a Puma deal, make 20 or 30 grand? Like, why wouldn't you try? I'm not saying he legitimizes or anything, but he might demand reprisal from them, because if he could do it, I should just go grab a payday.
I think anyone who is focused on the CrossFit Games is only going to be focused on the CrossFit Games in terms of it being a legitimate part of their training for the year. I think those who haven't made the CrossFit Games, there's a very realistic chance that they would swing in, like we saw with Sydney Wells running in Anaheim. Like, I think it gave them a pinnacle to strive for, as like every athlete wants in their year. No different. We very unexpectedly don't have Yonakoski going to the CrossFit Games this year, and he was on for, I think, his 10th consecutive. No, that's BK. Sorry, I'm all sorts of stats going through my head. But he was on for one of the most kind of regular appearances of the CrossFit Games in its history, and it was a really big surprise. But obviously he's now looking for that pinnacle in his year that he's not going, and he's turned to stuff like triathlon to find it. Had we been pushed out a bit more, a few more weeks, and there'd be another kind of last chance qualifier after these semifinals, I think you might have seen a lot more athletes think about trying for it.
That's a great answer, because it doesn't necessarily fit with their training. And I think that most CrossFit athletes are going to understand the running ability that's needed, or at least the training that they're going to have to do to compete at a certain level. But maybe I'm wrong, BK. Maybe they do. They're just like, hey, whatever. I have
a question then.
I can ski.
Would you support a standalone CrossFit qualifier? Anyone who's made it to X round of
a semifinal athlete?
Anyone who's made it semifinal,
or as a commentator on the sport of Hyrox, as a fan, absolutely, that would be sick.
Let's take
as
your
a commentator
top 15
on the sport of Hyrox. Absolutely not. That's a travesty to the athletes who do the sport.
Correct.
If it was, so you're saying, BK, that they would then get a pathway to Worlds or to a major?
Well, it's too late for that, so I'd say to a major.
To a major.
Golden ticket to a major. Let's go. Let's have we have 15 spots to fill at the CrossFit qualifier. If you've made semis, you're eligible. Show up, and let's say top 2 get to go to the first major of the year.
I don't hate it.
I think that's quite cool. And
just make it a 16th spot. Just give them a 16th lane, so they're not taking anyone's place.
But
honestly, that's the caveat. It can't take anyone's spot.
Yeah.
No different to the spectacle of Hyrox and CrossFit striking a deal that a Hyrox turns up at the CrossFit Games as an event. Like that, I also love.
I love that idea
board
too.
With both.
I love that idea too. That's all. That'd be a long event, but they have done 60 minutes.
It would be.
Right?
Maybe do Hyrox Strong.
We've done Marathon Row, right? We've done.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anytime
we've done kind of crits, and we've done like cyclocross to a certain extent. Like this would just be another thing like that.
Yeah, the cycle event was what, 45 minutes or so last year?
Triathlon.
No.
Tossing a full triathlon.
I mean, they've done a tri version, right?
They did
swim, beach run,
things like that. Yeah, they did something where it was
a paddleboard.
Yeah, there was a paddleboard. I'm not sure how long that one was, but it was long. All right, so Lauren's a bit frozen. We'll wait for her. She'll come back in and through. But BK, what else do you want to touch on for Hyrox New York?
Okay, I want your take on the times, because I had a few athletes I work with compete there, and the times didn't seem far off of a normal time. What the performances they put up were performances we had talked about we believe they could do. So what's your take on the times? I'm a little biased because I had athletes there.
I don't know what to make of these times. I truly don't know what to make of these times in New York. Like Jake Dearden from the UK came over, and this is a pretty big PR for him. It's a 58 12 to take the win, and then Tyler Schimpf. Is that how we say this? BK, you should know. You signed off.
I signed off on the ticket, but I didn't ever talk to him one-on-one, just through text.
He was 59-17, which is a considerable PR for him. And Brett Gornick, who is solid, he was 62-02. But then, yeah, some of the athletes that I coached, I had a guy who was set up to, I think, run in like 112, had a 9-minute sled push. And that's just not, like, there's no worlds that he would push. And I was like, did you get a penalty? What happened here? And he's like, nah, I just couldn't move it. And did you see that video Tom Simeon posted?
Yeah, with the ripples.
He was pushing it as hard as he could, and his feet were not sliding backwards. He was putting all of his might into it, and it just wouldn't budge.
And he's a strong,
and he's a
cake
beast.
of a man.
Yeah. So I don't really know what to make of these times. It seems like they were fair if you got a good sled. I don't think that they're necessarily fast. Matt Gross did not. I'm looking at his time. He did not have a good one. He got a bad sled push. He had an 8-minute sled push. So it was kind of a luck of the draw.
Seemed like top end was fast, and across the middle it was just accurate. Like some things may have been a little quicker, and some things that the stations I don't think were your average splits, but it averaged out if you didn't hit a bad push or pull.
I think that's fair. On the women's side, Kelsey Hodgschlittner ran 69-23. I'm not super familiar with her as an athlete. Have you seen that name, BK?
No.
So a great time take the win on her. And Alondra was 71-58, and then Julia Ashley, who's done some decas and I think some maybe a Hyrox too, was 73-39. Let's see what Alondra's push was. Nah, it's 301. It was fine. So I don't know. I think that they are fair enough. Is that all?
That's all?
That seems like that's all. All right. So before we get into drafting, I just want to go around a bit and talk about some of our favorite storylines that we're looking forward to seeing play out in Nice. It could be men's, women's side, whatever we think is going to happen, what we're looking forward to the most. Who wants to go first? BK, Lauren, who's up?
I'm deferring.
Deferring to me.
What are you looking forward to most, Lauren?
Oh, favorite storylines. Can anyone beat Hunter McIntyre?
I mean, the conversation kind of starts and stops with Hunter on the men's side. It has for a while now.
The interesting thing being that he probably hasn't had the same amount of track time as some of the other athletes, give or take. And we kind of saw what he could do when, oh God, I'm going to get all my races mixed up. But the last race he did, he had put out a really interesting Instagram post, which said that since 2022, he's either set a new world record time to beat or he's won a world championships. And the reason he pulls out is when he's not on to do one of those two things. And this was the first experience that he has had where he wasn't on course to take a world record, but continued anyway and learned something else about himself in that process, what it's like to fail at a goal that you set yourself. And I think that's always a really interesting kind of psychological way of attacking what's ahead of you. So I guess my answer would be is if he finds himself slipping to second, to third, even for just a portion of the race, did that experience give him the necessary tools to say, it doesn't matter that I'm in third right now because I'm going to absolutely beast it at the end and I'm going to take away my world championship? Or if he does potentially, it's still Hunter, isn't it? Start to fall back. Does his head go, oh, well, I'm not on for that world championship and I'm not on for that world record, so sod it.
That's a great point. We have not, I don't believe we've ever seen Hunter come from second place or further after the sled pull.
He's never won a race that he
not
didn't
at a world
come out of burpee
championship.
broad jumps leading.
Yeah, definitely not a world championship, but
Knowledge.
maybe ever.
Ever. Never won a race that he didn't lead out of burpees.
So that would be really interesting if he was in that position, which this year he very well could be. Even if he is at his best, I think this year there are a couple athletes who could be with him or leading him at least halfway through this race. So yeah, I love this one. It's like, what would he do? BK, you know, you've known Hunter for a long time. You follow him in the
Mhm.
way that he approaches competition. What do you make of that idea of him either pulling out or achieving his goal? Like, how do you think that would affect him?
I don't think that is my worry. Hunter and I check in from time to time. We've had a couple phone calls during this buildup towards Worlds. And I can say from stalking him on Strava and from our conversations that across the board, he's never had this level of fitness in his entire life. Just metric for metric, running, lifting, cycling across the board. He's doing things simultaneously that he never did in one area prior. So the fitness has never been here, and he's also never raced less.
Hmm.
So my question is does he time it right, and does it combine right on race day? I truly don't believe that if he's ready to go, because he's on a razor's edge, he is so fit, but you know how that gets. That line is thin. If he shows up and he's fit and he's healthy and he's dialed, there's no one there who can run with him right now while also matching him on stations. I believe he could have a 50-meter lead coming into sled push if he wants to. I think if he's on, it's the same old story. The question is if he's off. I don't think it will be because of Anaheim, but I think it will be because he hasn't raced as much as usual. And I think that he's done a slightly different training block than usual. That sometimes in a vacuum, it doesn't add up to race day. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think I disagree with you on. I think if Alex and Sandy were just like, I'm going with this guy, I think that they would be with him, even if Hunter didn't want that to happen. That's how fit those dudes are.
I think that they're that good, but I think people are under appreciating how good his running is right now.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, without giving away full workouts, just one workout, 5 by mile, sub 5,
What?
not sea level, 2 minutes or less recovery
On treadmill? Downhill?
outside.
I don't
I
believe it.
can't speak to the grade, but like there are very few people in the sport that can do that workout. And I think that his skiing's to the point where he could come out and hold 130s the whole time if he wants to. So can Ronk or Sandy actually maybe, but then it's done. So he could blow himself up is my problem because he hasn't raced enough. Like his fitness is there, but can it combine? But still, I mean, this echoes what Lauren says. It's Hunter. It starts and ends with he's the bell cow out there.
Yeah. So it should be fun. I'll go to the other side. The Lauren Weeks versus Meg Jacoby matchup. 2-2 this season at the 4 majors. Last year was built up pretty heavily. It was Meg's rookie year. And now Lauren, over a year of training, postpartum, straight training for Hyrox, is as the best that we've ever seen her. But both these women have set world records this year. And we haven't seen them since DC. So those two juggernauts at the top is something that I find very compelling. And it's every time that they step on the course together, it's always something to watch. And this year, you know, there really hasn't been that good of a race between the two of them.
Mhm.
Where in years past,
No one's either taken it.
yeah, it's been
Sorry, I shut up so you could continue.
and then I did the same. And then it was
Yeah.
it was the first 2 races of the year, Meg just grabbed control at sled push, and the second 2 races, Lauren grabbed control after ski erg, and that was the race. Where in previous years in Manchester last year, there was a duel through farmers, and in some of the majors as well, they were coming off the rower at the same time. So I'm hoping we see a battle like that, station for station, blow for blow, and I think we're going to get that for this one.
Those two are just so clearly the best that it's fascinating when one of them's off. We've seen a twice in majors where the third place was closer to second than second was to first. And like you said, that was not ever the case prior. And so I think, like you feel, we're going to see a race further into the race. I hope we see a race further into the race, but is there another storyline that could possibly be headline number one than Lauren Meg?
On the women's end,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Please enlighten us.
Yeah, you got one? That's a good setup.
No.
Set yourself up. Throw it off the
I-
backboard. Yeah, I'm at home, dude.
I don't, because it's no disrespect to the other women in the field, but we just have like two historically great athletes that I believe will stand the test of time. I think 10 years from now, people are still talking about these two. And it's a rare era. Hunter has someone new every few races. These two just have each other, and their matchups don't get worse. And I think that's just very rare. So it is the headline.
You got a headline for us, BK?
Do we have a what?
You got a headline?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's back to the men's again, because the women's is the obvious one, but it's what do all these times mean? On the female side, we have the two at the top in a pretty even spread throughout the year. And on the men's side, they're just like fireworks are going off here and there. Like we have a shooting star here, and then a shooting star here, and then a shooting star here. And each one of them believes like, I am that time. And everyone else says, you're all your other times. You're not that time. And this is the first time we get to just say definitively, you are or you aren't for the season. Like everything else everyone does for the season stops mattering the moment the race starts at World Championships. The majors aren't like that. You still have your fast time that's going to get you in elsewhere, but now it doesn't matter. The slate is erased. It's all clean as soon as the gun goes off. And we're going to find out like who is them and who just had a course. And that's going to be fascinating to me.
Yeah, man, it's time to race. It's time to race, and what these times do mean, what this course is going to be set up like, and what they're going to do next year too for all this. From 3 to like 15, it could be any order. It could be any order.
Could be anyone's.
Yeah. So
I'm going to say 2.
from 2,
Yeah.
I think Ronco's.
The last time, Lauren, you were on, we were talking, is Palaio the second best in the world right now?
Yeah, I remember.
And after doubles, people are like, this might be his year. And after Ronk spanked Sandy around, they're like, Ronkovic is the second best in the world and he might just beat Hunter. And then suddenly JK comes out and they're like, he has ascended. Like he is within a minute of the fastest time ever run. He is the man. We've said that like 5 different times this year. Maybe not we, but the community of Hyrox. There have been 5 different names touted as the heir apparent all in one season.
I am going to jump in there, though. I don't think we've seen a true race really between Alex and Sandy just yet. I think that will come down and play out in front of us this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
He got robbed of it.
With the Vienna debacle, but Ronco had run him down by that point, and I don't think Sandy was.
Don't
I
get
don't
me
think
wrong.
Sandy
He looks
was going
phenomenal.
forward.
He's training with like Austria's best marathon runners. He looks in peak like physical condition. He's not had any injuries or issues in the build up. Like he is primed to be Hunter's main competitor, I reckon, Alex. But if we're playing devil's advocate, we have not seen that race run this year. So I don't think that's kind of necessarily fair.
Once, right? And Ronk wasn't in it, but ran really well.
There was Stockholm.
Estocolm.
Ronk basically ran on Hunter's coattails, just trailing, and then Sandy was somewhere.
Mm-hmm. But it was early,
that mix.
Really early.
It was early. It was totally. That's where Sandy qualified. I think Sandy is an interesting story in general. It's like, what do we got here? What is this going to be? Is it going to be challenging Hunter from the front and putting it out there and potentially landing on the podium or winning this thing? Or is he going to be like, maybe I'll ski 146 instead of 136. I'll come out and I'll just like sit with the pack and then I'll move my way up. Is there any reason we should think that would happen? Or is it just going to be fireworks from the front and see how it holds on? I'm real interested to see how he plays this thing.
I would never gamble on him. If I had to bet my life on any one person's performance, his would be the last.
Well,
There's
fair.
no telling any of it. Ronkovic is the one that I think is he has been the only person close enough to Hunter in a race to say, I think, and now his fitness is only better. His running is growing by leaps and bounds. He looks the part. Sandy's like the M80 you just throw in the middle and run out of the way. Like, we don't know what direction it's going in, but it's going to go off, and whatever happens, it's going to be loud. But Ronk is just, I would love to see shoulder to shoulder racing.
So we've really kind of U-turned away from the initial chat of Pelayo, and I'm going to throw in Dylan.
No.
It could.
Like, because I'd say of those two, I don't think I mean, me and Pelayo speak periodically. I mean, Rich, you probably got more of a relationship with him, but I don't know much about how he's approached this and how he's trained for this. And he was on such an upward curve, and then he had that one not so great race. But like, I reckon Pelayo would be a solid dark horse to put your money on podiuming this weekend.
Yeah.
If he when he didn't race well, I mean, the on the men's side, everyone's gone crazy with the ski erg. People just go way hard. And I think it was Stockholm where people were like, okay, in order to run with Hunter, we're going to have to be able to ski or close to 140 as possible. And it kind of got in a lot of athletes' heads. And Pelayo was no different. And when he can ski, he can blow himself up. So I think this has been a progression of Pelayo. He was just like ascending, could do no wrong, and just like kind of got to where that bubble burst. And now he's going to have a good idea of how he can play things. So if he's around after the sleds, yeah, he's going to be able to run as fast as anybody, maybe faster. So he's going to be very interesting.
It's so funny how sports is, what have you done for me lately? You know, like someone pops a race towards the end off 4 crap races, and they're like, they're on one right now. They're on fire. Watch them. And Pelayo has 3 or 4 great races, has one off, and like, yeah, he's just not who we thought. Like, come on, guys. Like,
I don't think it's about that. It's more about its trends, right? It's trends in racing, and Pelayo's been on a really, really good trend. One bad race doesn't dictate an entire season.
Right. But suddenly no one talks about him. Not no one, but I just think it's funny that like you said, one race is not a trend, but we treat it like it is. So sometimes we saw it with Hunter last year. You have to blow up sometimes to find the edge. And Pelayo found the edge. So as long as he adjusts, like, who's scarier coming off of the sleds to have next to you or behind you than Pelayo? I don't know if there is one.
Who is it, Rich?
Could be the guy with the microphone with the blue light right on his face. That could be who it is. You guys want to draft?
It could be, couldn't it? No one wants Rich Ryan on their shoulder.
No, you don't.
You don't want a runner there when the running starts mattering.
Before the sleds, maybe. You guys want to draft? Wheel of names?
Wheel. It's not a draft if there's no wheel of names.
There we go. Want to go full screen for this one? This is our Super Bowl.
I want you going background.
Oh, you want that?
Yeah, I want it all.
Oh, I don't know if I can give that to you. Let's see. I think we've gone too far.
You're not in your home setup. It's not happening.
Oh, we're spinning.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Oh, the drama is real here. BK, where would you like to draft?
I want the middle.
Okay, you're going 2. Okay.
I'm taking 2.
Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. Big spot. Oh, I'm taking this. Nice. All right. That's me. I want the turn. Give me that 3 spot. Give me that 3 spot. Lauren, we'll give you your spin. We won't see it. It'll be off air. So Jack sent us his spreadsheet to help us out here. And I'm gonna have to type, but I don't have, so I'm not in my home setup, so I don't have my our awesome mic arms to come in and help me out. So I'm gonna be kind of typing with one hand here. So this is gonna be like a slow, weird process. But let me see if I can share this with everyone. So if this is your first time checking us out on a draft, what we do, we draft teams of, we're gonna draft everybody. So we are going to have
Teams of 5.
5 men, 5 women. Help me out with this, BK. 5 men, 5 women. We're going to draft snake style. So we're going to draft down and back. We'll get 2 picks at the turn. Lowest score wins. We just add up the finishing totals. And anything else I'm forgetting?
There's no need for a wild card, huh?
No wild cards here.
No ceremonial wild card.
We don't. I mean, if you want to toss it in there,
You just lock me in for KBB and we'll roll forward.
we're good to go. Anything else, Lauren? You've been here. You're ready to rock. Any question? Any
I can barely remember what's going on. Just tell me when to pick.
You get to pick first.
How we doing?
No, don't give me that one. Oh,
How we doing here?
panic.
Are we seeing everything?
That looks great.
Yeah.
And like, I don't.
Oh, someone's worked hard on that.
This is
was us.
not my work. I just typed the names in, and I probably screwed that up somehow. This is our guy Jack Bowers. Great work. Let's go over the standings though. This is not formatting the way I think it's supposed to. But can you see where the results are? Oh, here's
Nope.
standing results. We'll go over the results some other time. Today, we're drafting for Hyrox. Lauren, you're up. First pick of the 2024 Hyrox World Championships. Lauren Smith takes.
And I would be stupid if I did not pick Hunter McIntyre.
Wow, man. All right. I mean,
This could be a long
this is gonna
process
be.
here.
Why did that?
Oh, man.
Why did that pace like that? Do we know?
Jack's got his wizardry and witchcraft
Oh my
occurring here.
He
This
is.
is not going well.
This is going very poorly.
You just manually type.
Yeah, I'm just gonna type, but that's the thing I didn't want to do. I have one hand.
I know.
There, Hunter,
Hunter. Boom.
and then it pops up with an F.
Female.
Control Shift S on Hunter's name.
You're not gonna remember. I'm just gonna delete them.
Okay. Do it.
So
Just didn't know
we've-
what that would break the system.
it was broken from the jump of things. So Hunter is back-to-back world champion in Manchester, then in Vegas. He had a bit of a slip up in 2021. Tobias Lautvine took him down, and Hunter finished 4th there. Hunter won the world championship, the Invite World Championship in 2020. So 3-time world champion. When he comes at it at his best, he seems to be unbeatable. Will it be any different this year? That's the story.
We will find out.
That's the story. That's a good pick. I'll say that's a good
Feels
pick.
like it's an easy. I would say there are like maybe 4 people that are easy picks for the first 3 or 4 rounds.
I would
Same.
agree.
4. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Which gives me 2 of them, which is why I picked second.
No, it doesn't. It gives me 2 of them.
Maybe even 5.
Oh, it does give you 2, Rich.
I'm cooking already.
You're cooking.
I'm
My
already
math
good
is
to
already
go.
struggle bussing.
Not great.
Well, I'm going to let Team Rammer be Team Rammer. I'm taking the reigning champ, Lauren Weeks, in the 2 spot. That gives Rich the chance to use his inside information on Meg's status, take her. Then he'll bring the whole squad down with himself if she does poorly.
Ooh.
Lauren Weeks, until you beat the champ, you're not the champ. And she has the biggest run of momentum we've had in the season. And as the athlete who does some of the least specificity in season, my prediction is we're only going to see a better version of her come championship time.
There's no reason to think that she's not going to be in absolutely phenomenal shape. Especially last time we saw her at Decafit where she broke that world record, it was 32:30 something, I think.
Gross.
Yeah, incredibly fast. Her running just gets better and better. Did pretty well in the CrossFit Open. Fairly well in the semi or the quarter. She has real fitness. Real fitness here. Will we see somebody under 58?
I mean, it's only 2 seconds away.
It's true. The course looks pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I've known very little about the laps and stuff, so I can't really comment.
It's 2 laps. It's like 2.5. It's like a typical. If I was going to do standard course, I would say it's about 2.5 is standard.
Yes.
And they actually are separating it from the grid a little bit more than they have. The sled push and pull are going to be in the same spot. The row and the ski are going to be the same spot when you come in. And then they're actually putting the broad jumps and the lunges in a different box than the sled push and pull. And then wall balls are in its own station, like right at the top. So and farmers is actually on its own station as it's been in Stockholm and was in Vienna, which makes for much faster times than on the grid. And this is really solid for the age group World Championship races and the team World Championships, is that they're sequential. So like you run in the top and it's station 1, then it's station 2, then 3, 4, and then all the way up. And that makes sense. So coming out the flow makes sense, and it ends up being shorter on both ends for the rock zone situation. It looks like a good course.
I really hope they identify this as a version of the template moving forward for how to set up stations sequentially. I could be wrong. I may be forgetting an event or two, but I don't believe an event 20 minutes or longer in the endurance world in the past 2 decades has ever had the world record set at the World Championship. So someone can fact check me, but historically, the longer the race, the less likely the race is to have a world leading time set at a championship. However, most of those events aren't course dependent, and this one is. And if the course is as advertised, I think we can see a sub 58.
And you'd argue that those sports have been going a lot longer. So there's obviously, because we're new, we're setting world records far more often as we kind of work out the limits of everything.
There is no fault in that statement.
Lauren might have run 63 when she won in actually I'm not sure. I actually don't know, because she didn't. I thought she did 1 year. Maybe it was the year in the German year. I forget. Whatever year that was. I thought
Leipzig.
Leipzig. Yes. I thought she may have broken it that year.
Well, there we go.
But that was like the second year the sport's ever existed.
The German year.
Yeah, the German year. Hey, that's the hometown. That's the home area for me now. I represent hard. Can say nothing. All right, we're ready? I'm taking MJ. Meg Jacoby here. This is going to be a battle. I can't wait. I mean, Meg is as fit as she's been. She's been a full-time athlete now for about half of this season, so she's been able to spend a lot more time working on things like recovery and not needing to cram everything in, and stress management. She's done a really good job of understanding what she needs to do in terms of accomplishing more as an athlete other than just the physical. And the kind of lumps that she took in the middle of the season were a wake-up call for her, and she needs that and she will confess to needing that sometimes, of just having it, like when she's on top, it's not always positive for her performance, but when she takes a lump, it really gives her motivation, and she's been riding that motivation for several weeks now. Is healthy, is mentally strong. This race is going to be a banger. All right, back to me. I'm going to go Ronco here. I think he's the guy who could do it. If anybody can do it, I think it's Ronco this year.
We haven't seen him falter yet. He's just looked the part for most of the calendar. He's looked the part. What is his worst race?
Chicago.
Chicago, 4th, was that?
3rd. And yeah, he ran 56 something, and he was barely in the States. He was only here for a couple of days. Really solid.
And he's only looked better since, so he's the call.
And you throw in the fact that he's had that high pressure environment running in front of a home crowd in Vienna. Like, he's probably, from a mental perspective, pushed himself to the capacity already. So Worlds should be kind of nothing new. He's had that kind of a similar experience.
And he kind of has that attitude, right? Like he doesn't seem like he's too flappable. He likes training. He just wants to go out and push himself really hard. I don't see someone like him getting in his head, unless it is the year that it's like, hey, maybe, I mean, he's finished 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, second. I think he has 4 podiums in 5 years, and the one time he wasn't on the podium was when that was the invite only year, and he didn't get an invite. So he did not finish on the podium that year. But every other time he shows up, he's on that podium, unless he's just like really pressing to try to get that win. But I don't see it. I don't see him having any pressure on himself that way. So good pick, me. Look at that. Look at this team. This looks great.
That worked
already.
out well.
That did
for
work
you.
out well. Mm-hmm.
And now it ends for you. I'm going to go with historical record again. I went boomer bust last round. I busted. I'm going to go with at World Championships, who makes the podium more often than not, and I'm going to take Ryan Kent.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
He has as much championship and overall race experience as any human in this sport. He also has a ceiling to him. He's not a boomer bust guy, but he has the ceiling to beat Hunter McIntyre. He's done it. There are very few people. We talk about some of the people who might be boomer bust or have a huge ceiling, but he's both. He's reliable and has a ceiling. And that gives me the confidence that he's the man to pick here. I like that you gave him a female, though.
Oh, did I? Did I leave that like that? I mean, he's in shape. He's in shape. He's ready to roll. Again, the pressure doesn't seem like it's much. He's been here before, like you said, BK.
Yeah.
He has been able to, he's beaten Hunter in the past. He beat Ronco this year. He's won a major.
When is he best? When is he most dangerous? When he's not talked about, when he's the underdog. He loves stacking up chips on his shoulders. And who's not getting talked about recently?
That's true.
He's not the hot name on everyone's lips, and that's when he comes out and crushes.
That's true. That is very true of my guy. And I think he's feeling that way.
He should be.
I like it. And I've been making sure he's eating. We've been staying together for a week. I don't know if he'd be able to do it on his own. So making sure, like, hey, do you need me to tuck you in? Are you fine? Can you exist as a human? And he's doing it. I can tell you that he's doing fine. Lauren, you're up.
Need a girl to round out my 1 and 2. It's gonna be Linda Meyer. We had a big chat earlier this podcast about trends in performance, and Linda is the kind of embodies absolutely everything about that. Every single major, third or higher of last major, obviously having that battle against Meg, and we saw a point in which she was able to go in for the kill if she wanted to. Fabulous runner, European local, no extra things to worry about in terms of jet lag, and she is a World Championships kind of like legacy to a certain extent.
Yeah.
She's been at nearly all of them: Leipzig, Vegas, Manchester. She's been at all of them, and she's been on the podium in
Vegas. I think she was second,
yeah,
or
second
or
in
third,
Vegas.
or maybe
second in
yes.
Vegas. So she kind of also knows what's required of her in those environments. So yeah, Linda Meyer, my girl.
It's a great pick. It's a great pick. I think you asked her, Lauren, maybe post race, if sub 60 was on her mind, right? And she took her back a little bit, it seemed like. But she's like, well, yeah.
It was pre-race, don't worry. Just to really hammer it home.
So if you don't get 60, are you a failure?
No, that's not what I said.
So she, but like, yeah, like it's realistic. After that second place finish that she got in Vegas, she came out the next year and set the world record like 2 races in a row. And then she had a bit of a setback, and now we're seeing her at her best. So she's definitely the next.
And it was injury led, wasn't it? So she's she's got over that. She's come back and she's back to her best. And now it's like, how good is her best? Like, and I think we're just seeing where that could go.
I agree. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out for her. She's really good on the sleds, the sled pole. She seems to be really strong on. So she might be moving her way up. I don't know if she'll engage with Lauren and Meg early after the ski erg, which is what Lauren's been doing the past couple of races, has been sitting back and then cranking the ski and then basically sprinting the next 1,000 into the sled. I don't know if Linda will engage with that, but if she plays it right and is able to hammer a pole, she could be pretty close to that top 2. So I like it. Good pick. Who else?
Oh, it's me again. Oh
You
my
again.
God.
Again.
I'm not very good at this. Oh, no,
I
it's
thought you
fine.
I thought you were
Vivian
studying. I
Tabuto,
thought you were
please and
locked in.
thanks.
Oh, nice.
Because she's freaking epic as a person. I loved that on social media she was talking about her walking tune and asking for help on like what that could be, and just another of these athletes that over the course of the major season is never been out of top 5. She's very comfortable competing, racing. I probably have a ton of stats about her somewhere in my book that I have right here.
Stats. Let's hear them.
Alas.
Is it
Fourth
AN
in
or EN?
Manchester.
First stat, AN or EN for Vivian?
I've got an AN, but
AN. Nice. Okay, we're all right.
yeah, but she has been doing long, hard training sessions, making her racing feel way easier. Anaheim was a great primer for her. Came in second. She was part of that LCQ race, but not, if you know what I mean. She was part of that pro race. And she's been in Nice since Monday. So hopefully not a, much like you guys coming to Europe early, hopefully factors, including jet lag, will be seen on Vivian. Have I died? Has my I'm running off my phone 5G.
A bit, but you
oh
came,
yes, I have.
But you came back. you came back and drilled that point home. But
okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, Vivian's finished fourth in like every race for a long time. I think she's sick of it. So I think that she'll be looking to come after this one. I mean, like, yeah, she ran 62 all by herself in Anaheim, you know, in a completely different race, like under the radar. But that's how she rolls. She's under the radar and just takes care of work. Yeah, I'm pulling for her. I'm pulling for her to get on this podium.
I'm going to continue my trend.
I assume that's where we're at now. We're at podiums now, right?
Yeah.
Or are we still on winners?
Maybe. But probably not.
Probably not. Maybe.
I'm going to take the name written as Michaela. Michaela Norman.
You are. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sticking with the old dogs, new tricks kind of thing. When she is herself, I believe she is the second or third best person in this field with potential for first. She hasn't shown that first potential in a while, but if she is, I would say 90% of herself, I think she's the third best person here. Now, the women's field has closed the gap tremendously, and she hasn't been herself. But we're going championship experience here. I'm not doing the who's the current hot ticket. I'm going with tried and true in the past. And hopefully it pans out for me.
Technically, we've never seen Michaela in a world championship.
Correct. She's won Euros.
She is working with a new coach, John Singleton from the program out in Mallorca, who has multiple games athletes going to the games this year, but also previous years as well. Probably one of his highest profile is Gabriela Magawa, who just came second at semis and came fourth last year at the games. Under a different program, arguably, at that point. But he's quite a high-profile CrossFit coach, and they're working together in Hyrox. Probably helps because of her CrossFit background, that they have a relationship already. But also he understands like probably the support that she needs to get the best out of herself as an athlete. And that relationship looks like it's going really well.
And if they can right the ship, like BK said, like she is at her best.
I stopped again, didn't I? This is a nightmare.
It was right after your point this time. You passed it along, and I was ready. Then, but yeah, when she's at her best, it's like, who knows? She could she could be on that podium for sure.
Based off this season, it's a reach. It's early, but that's okay. I'm already in last place. We're playing with house money.
I mean, if like that's the fifth woman off the board. Yeah. So I think that's fair. This could be a boom or bust type of pick. really, right? Like her,
Yeah.
but her bust is going to be like sixth.
She's not gonna be bad, right?
No, like her, like even yeah, at
Never really a
80%.
bust.
Not really, not at all. All right, I'm up. I haven't thought about it. I don't know what to do now. Where are we at?
Give 5 seconds to decide.
Where are we at here? Take women. This is 5 women off the board. 4 dudes. I'm taking me. Come on. I'm going here. Could have waited.
Reach.
Standard Rich Ryan.
Could have waited. I don't. I'm looking at these names. I'm thinking me. There we go. And look, it's the only one that populated appropriately. That's correct. That's what Jack was doing to hook me up here. Look at that.
I am a male.
That's me. I'm that guy in this field here. Yeah, I don't know. This field of dudes is completely wide open, especially with the names that are off the board. Like, the only guy I have not beat on this list this season is Tomasz. Nice. Great. I didn't even think that. Oh, it changed the population.
Yeah, it didn't like that point.
Got negative points for that. But really, I don't know. Like, I'm feeling good. If I took any other dude here, I'd be like that would be betting against myself, and I don't feel that way. The top dudes who've gone are going to do really well, and it will be really it'd be really hard to hang with them. But of the rest of the field, taking me. I've done this twice, and I've gotten it correct both times. So good trends. This episode's about trends, and that's what we're talking about right now. All right. So I got me.
No one speaks in his defense. Say it.
They're like, oh,
Yeah, I was thinking, what were we going to say to that? All right, have fun.
Yeah. Reach.
all right. Good.
If it helps you on race day, you pick yourself whenever you want to pick yourself.
I will. I need fuel. All right. So then I'm gonna take JK.
Okay.
I'm gonna take JK. So JK now has the second fastest Hyrox time ever run by a male competitor or any competitor in a pro race. It was, I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but it was an incredible improvement on as far as time concerned. Even with the course, like we thought that course was probably 2 minutes faster than the average course.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that, he's still 56 low. And if you run 56 low, you're going to be in the mix against any field that's assembled. So he seems to be...
Even if you accounted for those 2 minutes, he's still got at least 40 seconds to play with on what he had prior.
Exactly. And the confidence that he must have after that, being able to run well from the front and win, you know, he's got a lot of positive momentum. He's not going to beat me. That's why I picked myself first. But he might. He's going to do great. So I'm excited for him.
I was going to take one person this entire time, and I just changed it up.
Okay.
I'm a believer in a lot of these gentlemen right now, but I'm just going to balance Rich out with the Spanish Rich. I want Pelayo.
Nice.
I was just too high on him prior to his hiccup race, and I'm saying that the hiccup race doesn't matter, so I need to stay high on him. I need to practice what I preach. A man with 3 names is going to bring home a podium.
Bring home a podium. Yeah, I mean, he very well could. Like you said, his running is as good as anybody's.
Let's throw it back to the first race of the season when no one saw Rich coming top 5.
Thank you. And Pelayo, no one saw him either.
Pelayo.
Yeah.
No?
And he finished his 4th. Yeah, I mean, what's the question mark then? Like if the sleds don't go well, I'm guessing these sleds are going to be fine. Like they're the newer kit still. I'm guessing they'll have brand new carpet for a race like this. Everything will just be as nice as it could possibly be. I think these sleds are going to go well for anybody who wants them
Championship
to.
historical data says that they err on making the course quick. They make the stations go by. Like they have adjusted weights for age group and pro on race day, and it was
True.
never to make them heavier.
True.
So if anyone in the field benefits from that type of mindset, it's him.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see it. He's got the Rebellion Pro 2s now.
That's not even a fair fight.
It's
You
over.
guys might just go 1-2.
It's over. All right, Lauren, you took Palaio, I think, first overall last time. So
I did.
BK took that right from under you.
He was between him and JK was going to be probably my next two, but it's fine. Because I've got Dylan Scott, and I will happily take Dylan Scott. 6th in Leipzig, 5th in Vegas, 14th in Manchester. You could potentially argue that he doesn't travel quite as well. And to that, I say, well, he turned up over a week in advance to get ready and account for that. He's been great in the latter side of the year. We've only seen him in 2 majors, and which are the American ones. So we haven't actually seen him travel. Maybe a bit of a gamble there, but 8th in Chicago. We're just easing into the season there. And his performance in DC was unbelievable. 56.37, leading from the front, happy to take that gamble and push. Had that great battle with Lucas Dorath, and we know how fit Lucas can be. And he left him for dust. It was a very, very impressive performance. And he's a dude.
Yeah. That's a great pick. And just for the record, real quick, he did travel to Stockholm, or...
Oh, I'm so bad with Stockholm. I didn't cover it.
Not the Stockholm Major. It wasn't the Stockholm Major.
Oh,
it
okay.
Was a race to... I don't even know if it was Stockholm, for that matter. It was a race in the Nordic region.
He did travel somewhere.
To get a qualifier for Chicago and raced well and beat Sandy. So you got it. That's even more... Yeah. Even more proof.
This is who I was telling myself I was going to take.
And I can't believe the European picked the North American champion.
How about it? She's a believer.
How about it?
I was going to pick him.
Yeah, no, I need some more Europeans in my team. This is getting way too US heavy.
Look at all those USA flags flying on Lauren's team. Oof.
Yeah, no, we're going to change that right now.
Got some UK athletes. Okay.
In terms of just dominance of racing, his DC was a top 3 to 4 race of the season on the male side, in my opinion. And the only question is, there's only 2 questions really ever. Does he time it right for a championship? Both with the travel and with the training. And the second is, how healthy is he right now? He's documented that he's had some lower leg issues. And that can be enough to give people pause, because he hasn't put it together in a championship race at the world level yet, even though I think we all believe he can. And the way he looked in DC, if he's remotely close to that, I mean, that's a podium level performance right there. So it's just the question mark of, does it come together for him on race day with health and timing of energy levels?
Yeah, that's the timing part is very interesting, where he just popped off at the last one. And we saw him race 2 times before, 2 races he raced 3 races in a row, which was like proof, where he did like a road race and he did Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. Then he did DC, and we were like, man, this dude's on it. And he just crushed. So yeah, we're not exactly sure, but if there's no reason to think that he's not in as good of fitness as that, because he didn't take his foot off the gas. I wouldn't say. Gonna venture out and say that.
I think Lauren, it is surgically attached to the gas pedal.
All right, Lauren, what do you got?
What do I have? Camilla Massa.
Nice. US based, but that's fine.
Yeah, I know. This is killing me. Damn it. She is one of those athletes where we have not seen, I think, the true potential of what she can do. She had a brilliant start to the year, and I think potentially we were guilty of putting a bit too much kind of outside talk and pressure on her. She's gone away. You guys are close, aren't you, Rich?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I feel like she's gone away. She's really hammered down on certain weaknesses, and she could easily end up on a female podium. I can really consider her a bit of a power athlete, you know, who can run. You'll know way more, Rich. You take this away, because, you know, you guys are running. Are you running doubles together?
We're gonna do some
Did I make
mixed
that up?
doubles. Yeah,
You're running mixed doubles
We're
together
coming
the
back
weekend,
on
yeah.
Sundays. That's my partner, because Palio bailed on me, but I got a better partner anyway. So yeah, they're just like locked in. They are really hungry for this. They try really hard. You know, they put a lot into training. She's like pretty new as an endurance athlete, even still, right? This is like her been doing it for about 2.5 years, basically coming from very little. So there's a lot of room for her to grow. And that race at Anaheim was a statement, right? It was something that was almost a breakthrough. She led wire to wire.
A 1:02:37.
And really fast on a course that was not set up to run quickly on. So yeah, I agree. I think she could absolutely be a podium threat here.
I mean, she ran what Vivian ran.
Yeah.
Right. And Vivian came off the board 2 rounds earlier.
Yeah, your women's team's looking stacked, Lauren.
Yeah, no, I'm let's go, girls. Oh, so's my men's. I just don't have quite as many.
Well, I like the pick. She's young and experienced at the same time, in terms of being a young endurance athlete, not age-wise, but experience-wise, but she's also extremely experienced at this sport. So that's a really cool position to be in, where you get to not make big mistakes, hopefully, but also keep improving.
She's been over here as well. Her and Luca ran doubles in Rimini just this past weekend. So, and if anyone's going to do travel well, it's going to be Camilla. She's over here all the time.
Yes.
I'm going to pick the most disrespected athlete in this field. Give me Sandy.
Sandy. Oh man, dude, you're going. I mean, go ahead.
Nah, take it. Like,
I'm just looking at your team. Like, you're like that. Like, Sandy could definitely be on the podium, but he might not finish.
well, that's the thing. He finishes as often as he doesn't, and that's worrisome. But when he finishes, he's really good.
He's really good.
Really good.
Yeah, so I mean that could be the steal. That's the linchpin of your
To get him this
draft.
late,
Yeah.
have podium potential this late. I mean, he's asking to be picked. So delete him off there. He's not available for anyone else. He's just mine.
You got him. Lauren, do you have any insight on this UK? Is this the first UK athlete off the board?
He is the first UK athlete off the board. Sandy, we all know how good Sandy can be. He's had a bit of a difficult few months. Had to move back from Doha. He pulled up in Doha, didn't he, with severe cramp. When I was chatting to him, I know he's worked through that, and he's kind of back training again, but I know it took him off his feet for a week or so. So yeah, that would be my I would be more concerned about poor Sandy and his cramp, that you can't put your finger on why it's lasting so long on what's happening there, over his mental game. Like, I think when Sandy goes out to race, like he's give or take like there to do a job, especially at this level. Like, it's World Champs. This isn't just like another pro race.
True. Which is like, maybe he'll show more restraint, or maybe that I don't know.
He's a wild horse. He runs free.
He runs free.
He remains unshackled by your expectations, Richard.
I would love to see Sandy podium this weekend.
That would be a great redemption story because of the struggles that he has had this season. That if he was able to just pop one and if he gets those wall balls and just guts it out and is able to land on that podium, that would be an amazing finish. A great story.
It would. I think, actually, you're talking about stories of the week. I think if he ends up on the podium, that for me is one of the stories of the year. Yeah, it'd be epic.
All right. Am
More
I up?
context will be revealed in the live show.
Okay. Teaser. Excellent teaser. When's it live
that
show?
doesn't
What we
leave
got
me.
going?
That doesn't leave me feeling confident that you know more things that would make it even more spectacular if he opens up. Ah,
All right. I gotta take some ladies here. I will do that. I will do so. I'm gonna take. All right. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take Viola.
ah.
Oh, okay. I did not think you were gonna. Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna go
I mean,
Viola.
great pick.
That's value.
That
And
is value.
then I'm gonna take Lauren
Yeah.
Griffith here.
That's what I thought. I thought you were gonna keep it all in a, flag and
I'm all over the place. You're repping.
yeah, I'm repping
You're
Team America
repping.
right now.
You're
I do appreciate
exactly. I'm all
that. Like
over.
quite frankly, you're more European than I am at this
Yeah,
stage.
absolutely. So Viola, this is a bit disrespectful her going this late. She is
Mhm.
the 7th athlete off the board where I don't know, like she's gonna be in the mix, right? Like she races aggressive. She's gonna put herself out there, and if she's on, she will be in the top 5. And I think the same could be said for Lauren Griffith. Like both these athletes are gonna stick their nose right in it, and it's just gonna be a matter of what their current conditioning is, how race ready they are, and how it's gonna be in the under the big lights where Viola has lots of world championship experience. She was second in the race in 2020 against Lauren. She was in Vegas as well. Lauren, do you know where she finished in Leipzig?
Ooh,
I'm not.
give me a sec.
I can't remember. Check the notes. And
She finished second. So yes, she's had some very good finishes.
2 podium finishes at Worlds, value with the 7th pick overall. And Lauren Griffith, this is really her first time coming into the Hyrox space, and really the first year that we've seen her in hybrid racing at all. But she came out to Decafit World Championships and raced real aggressively and put herself on the podium. And she did it multiple times that weekend, and I think that she won't be afraid of this moment. And she belongs with all these other big name athletes, so she would be one that I think could outplace her seed by quite a bit.
Lauren Griffiths, the only person in the world who can pass out during a race and then persuade the medics to let her finish. Like that girl's mental strength is freaking insane. Plus, she has a pretty decent coaching duo behind her who, have won a few world championships themselves. So.
Did the Rebecca Vidison, but it worked out better for her than it did for Rebecca.
Oh.
Did she end up having a torn knee? Was it her ACL or is it?
Yeah,
no?
it was a knee. Yeah.
Shoot, I don't know if you saw BK at the
awful.
European semis. She came down off the rope and was on the ground for a while.
It was dreadful. It was dreadful to be there. It was dreadful to watch.
I bet being on site
she basically just twisted coming down off. It was really innocuous. She just landed slightly badly, but it was an injury she had before, and it obviously just caught it wrong. But then she got up and she got on the bike and she started pedaling, and we were all like, "Oh my god, she's fine then." Like she was not fine, and then she started to do box jumps, and that did not go. Yeah, it was awful. Poor Rebecca.
It's pretty rough because I think she would have done well at the games this year too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think everyone in the community, all our hearts go out to her. That was not nice.
But on a brighter note,
on a positive note,
BK going.
I will, but first she said whilst and innocuous on this episode, and I don't know who she's trying to show up here. All right,
it's just how they talk in the UK. It's
impressive,
words.
and I'm offended. I don't like it. Lucas Storath is not going to take 8th or 9th place.
No.
So give me Lucas. Why is he still here?
I don't know. I should have taken him, but I needed to fill out.
Yeah.
Some ladies. That's a good pick.
He's not going to take this. What is he, 9 off the board right now? 8,
it
9?
You're mixing with everyone mixed up.
On the men's side,
it's not a true reflection of where they would place.
No, it's not. But this is valid.
I mean, I know I'm stating the obvious there, but just to clarify. I hope no one feels bad.
They all will.
They're gonna.
I know. I hate it.
Oh, they're gonna. No, but yeah, I mean, the way he came out at last chance qualifier and smashed again on a course not designed to be a fast course, running 56 low, right? 56 teens, I think.
The one time I don't draft him and I said, I think he's done for the year, he smashes, and I am back on groveling, hands and knees. Take me back on Team Lucas.
This I think is solid. This I think is solid now. And I've spent some time with him this week. We're staying real close to where his beautiful home is here in an amazing home gym in some little town in Germany. But he's in shape, man. He's gonna be ready.
You're a man of the world, Reg.
Like we were on some back roads yesterday. We got lost. We went to a track and it was like a school. It was closed. We couldn't do it. So we had to drive like 40 minutes the other direction to another track. And the roads just open up and there's nothing. And you can go, whatever, 65, 100 kilometers an hour, 65 miles, 60 miles an hour. And then all of a sudden it narrows down into a tiny little village. And you can only go like 15 miles per hour for like a kilometer. And then it opens back up. And we went through that like 10 times. That's how the whole country is. Or not the whole country, of course not. But the whole countryside of where we are. It's been a learning experience, BK. Lauren, you're up.
Worldly.
That's right.
I will take Bo, please. The Kiwi in Switzerland.
Classic pairing.
Yes, a classic pairing. Obviously, this will be, I think this is his debut, right? This is his debut World Championships because he just missed out last year.
Him and Plyo are the only
that's
rookies.
Exciting. Oh, I love a rookie story. I know that he's been quite open about having a bit of a issue with his foot over the last couple of weeks, but when he does put it all together, he can land on a podium. Proved in Stockholm, where he was racing alongside the likes of Hunter. Who came second in Stockholm? What am I missing here?
It was Ronkovic.
Ronkovic. You know, like if you're talking top threes, those are pretty fair enough to be behind. I think Bo could easily see himself on a podium if it all goes to plan. Local to a certain extent, and he's been playing around in mixed doubles. He ran with Viola Oblander in Cologne. He got like a low 52, so he's been playing on track, and obviously he's first and foremost he's a CrossFitter. He's one of my boys.
He's good at CrossFit.
He's very good at CrossFit. He's also a very good coach.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, no, that's Bo. Me and Bo had we met in Chicago. The first time I'd ever met him. First time I'd really got to know any of you guys. And we ended up in an airport hotel restaurant having lunch together because we were waiting for people to get in and get in a taxi into Chicago town. And we probably spent about 3 hours in each other's company, having never met before. Total legend, very Kiwi, you know, just super laid back, lovely bloke.
Don't want to be near him.
That probably doesn't land as well with. Don't want to be near him in
lunges and wall balls. Want nothing to do with him in those stations.
Good knowledge.
He's on the team.
CrossFit in it. CrossFit in it.
Yeah.
Don't be near him at the end.
Yes, absolutely. If his running can hold up.
Along with Tvrdik.
Tomasz. You got another one, Lauren?
Oh, jeez. Killing me. I'll take Thomas Tvrdik.
Take him.
Why not? Because I had a great conversation with him yesterday and I found out some very interesting stuff about his history, which makes me think, oh, all right, because I didn't know a huge amount before. I know he's kind of raced around and he does multiple different disciplines, but his background is as a cross-country mountain bike racer. And he grew up and raced at a time in Czech cycling where Jaroslav Kalavi, who is possibly the greatest mountain biker of all time, apart from Nino Schurter, was the height of Czech cycling. So his entire endurance background kind of comes down to this about 13 odd years ago, where he was in regular races, World Cups and national races with possibly the best person on two wheels off road you will ever meet in your life. Really cool backstory. He came out of nowhere in Vienna. We were like, who's this guy on the podium? Or not on the podium, just off the podium. Who's this guy who's qualified? I remember running around being like, do we know anything about this Tomasz person? Does anyone have any information? I've got to interview him. But he's military background. He's kind of just improved his race times over the course of a number of years. He finished 4th in Madrid in 2021 in a field that also had Alex Ronchevich and Tom Hogan. That was his first race. I think he's totaled around 11, and he was at the 22 World Champs in Vegas. So you might know him better, Rich, than I do. But that was obviously that wasn't necessarily a time or a placing to write home about, but he has got experience on the big stage.
The times were all screwed up in Vegas. That rock zone was actually 5 minutes and change long. They weren't. But yeah, I don't know what his travel situation was like that year. But seeing him back and he crushed that time is Maastricht that he ran so fast. And I was like, we'll see what this course is like. And then he came out and smashed at
Maastricht was an interesting one in general, right? Because everyone was running fast at Maastricht.
Seemed a little fast, but then he backed it up. He's super strong.
He did
indeed. He had some OCR, right,
Fun
BK?
fact.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. No, go for it.
I was going to say that.
You should. I know nothing about OCR, so do not ask me.
Yeah, don't worry about it. What's the fun fact?
Fun fact, it's his 10th wedding anniversary on the day of the race. So his wife has allowed him, rather than taking her out to dinner, to take her to race day in Nice.
It's very sweet. Nice will be very romantic after, I'm sure.
Well, you both have had a lot of really fun, nice facts, and I don't care about any of them. The only thing that matters to me is he is the Rich Ryan killer. He is the Rich Ryan kryptonite. Rich Ryan cannot beat this man.
Tomasz?
Yes.
I beat him in Vegas.
Vegas doesn't count.
I haven't beat him this year.
Has not beat him this year. He is just Rich Ryan's daddy. Somehow they was conceived during their 10 years of marriage.
He's a beast on the row, on the ergs. He's a monster. He's just like a huge, strong dude. He's just a monster of a man. Good pick.
All right. I need to return to America. I'm going to take someone who I have written off over and over and over. And Rich has been a believer in from day one. Amy Bevilacqua.
Nice.
Oh, she's a machine.
And she knows how to race. And I think that is going to matter so much at a world championship where there are a ton of really good people and you can't all do well. Someone who can keep cool, calm, and collected and stay the course. Amy is going to.
Dang, I was hoping that would make it.
I knew you were going to take her. I can't let that happen.
You're right. She's just a dog. She just has race ability. She just goes out there and doesn't care. Is having a fun time. She's a really good runner. She really is, and has worked like crazy on those wall balls. And we saw it pay off big time for her at the last chance qualifier.
And to be the best of the rest, and by that I mean the pack that can't win it necessarily. I shouldn't say can't, but the pack that goes out not necessarily to try to be in position to win, but to run really well. To be the best of that pack, you have to be able to withstand a lot of low situations, a lot of body blows from everyone else. And to have that skill set of, I'm just having fun out here, I'm happy to be here, that keeps you in a position to attack late. A lot of people will not attack late because the race will have left them and their motivation will be gone, and that's not going to be Amy.
Yeah, it's a great point. I'm looking forward to watching a race.
Thank you.
I'm not going to see too much of it, but good pick. All right, I'm taking Tim Venish. Venish, right? Venish. Tim Venish. I mean,
Venish? I've definitely been calling him that for about a year and a half now, so I hope it's Tim Venish.
Then I'm on it too, Tim Venish. This is way too late for him and if this was like last year, he would have absolutely been off the board, but we just haven't seen him race too often this year, so we don't exactly know what kind of race shape he's going to be in, but he podiumed in Vienna. He has some of the highest potential of anybody that he's shown. He was 4th in 22. Had to withdraw last year right before the race, clearing the way for JK to make his championship debut. And I just don't really know what he's up to, but he has the ability to run with anybody in his entire field. Before Ronco really ascended, Tim would beat him regularly.
Hmm.
It was like Tobias, and then it was Tim. Those were the European dogs, and now Ronco's ascended a little bit. Tobias is we haven't seen him in the form that he's been in the past, and we just don't really know what Tim has been up to because we just haven't really seen him race. I think he's been battling some injuries, but this is value all day. Anything on Tim?
Great pick. Tim is, of the people remaining, has the most top 3, top 5 finishes. And he has that ability to, if he shows up and we've said it several times in these drafts, if he shows up and does it, it's not that surprising.
Right. Right.
Where everyone else would
No,
be surprising.
you would never be yeah, I agree. You'd never be like, oh, Tim's on the podium. It's like, oh yeah, it's just another podium for Tim.
Right. It's not how did it happen. It was, well, hey, it happened.
Right. If we were talking 2 years ago and projecting forward, we would almost assume that he would be on the podium at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think maybe it's more of a surprise to himself nowadays, just based on like if you look his reaction to qualifying, just because of all of the injuries he's had with his legs. I think like now for him it's quite a big deal, whereas before it was a bit more expected. And I think that kind of realization as an athlete plays a big part in motivation and drive. Like now you know that you are this good after your injury. It's like hitting a post-injury PB, right? You're kind of building back to where you are. I think it's quite a good like positive mental mindset.
Agreed. And then I'm going to take Jana Liebenstedt with this next one here.
Yana now. I like
Jana
it.
Interesting.
Now. Mostly, I think, last year in the women's race, we saw an athlete finish on the podium who had just come into the racing circles. She only run like 2 or 3 races, and I can't believe it's slipping my mind right now. BK, you got the name for me?
I'm not bailing you out.
Come on, dude.
You got a paddle.
Because you don't know. Lauren, do you you got my back on this one?
Sorry.
Oh my
What's
God.
the question? What have you missed?
Who got third at World
What's the
Championships last
question?
year? Anyway, so I think Jana has that.
Oh my God, I can't remember.
We'll think of it later. BK has no clue.
You don't put that on me.
Where's Jack? Where's Jack when you need him? But Jana's newer to the sport. She ran extremely well. You can tell she is a pretty skilled runner. She looks the part. I think I heard that she had some sort of injury to her hand, which I don't love, but I think she just doesn't know what her capability is in this, and I don't think she races with fear. I don't think she's going to care about who anybody else in this field is, and I think she will outperform her seeding by quite a bit. So bit of a projection, but I like it. I think that I like the way that she looks out on the course.
Having that running stride and composure is a big weapon, especially in a race where we expect people to fade. People that can run the second half are people who are dangerous. And she's new.
Jana was phenomenal in Cologne.
Mm-hmm.
Like she paced it well. She was in amongst some really big players and she held her own and she pushed everyone on the runs. Bad news on the hand injury. She broke her finger and it required surgery.
Ooh.
So coming into this weekend, she has taken the pressure off. She's gonna have she's gonna try, she's gonna push it, but you can imagine what the farmers carry, the wall balls, the
sled pull's not
gonna
have. She will move
sled
up
pull, anything where you're looking at,
yeah,
anything you're looking at grip. It's gonna be it. Honestly, it's gonna be amazing to see her kind of probably overcome that. Like no one wants to be faced with that as an athlete. And just her overcoming it will be a massive win. Her racing will be a massive win.
We saw. I'm trying to think if the point I'm making is going to be helpful to my pick. I can't make this out right now. Belle McFarlane was who got third last year. She's who I was.
Yes.
She was who
Belle.
I was thinking of, like kind of comparing to. Belle had all functional digits, so hopefully Yana is in great running shape. She's gonna need it.
If you've got an injury to your hand, yeah, you're going to be in an awesome running shape.
She's gonna be running.
She was in pretty epic running shape before. Her running was phenomenal.
Yeah. So who needs it?
But again, what's really exciting, she'd done 2 pro races before she rocked up in Cologne, right? Like freaking amazing. Next year, she is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Keep her. Yep. So that's why I thought of her compared to Belle on that one. BK, you have.
Well, I was going to pick a woman here, but
4
I've got to
dudes.
take my last man.
Yes, yeah, you have all the dudes.
There's only 3 left. I got to finish off the men. John Wynn.
John.
Nice.
Every person here is disrespected at this point,
Yes.
and him probably most so. I'd say David Megita's the most accomplished left, but there are clear reasons health-wise and training-wise why. I mean, he said I took a few months off. I didn't think I was going to be here. That doesn't inspire confidence. So Jonathan Wynn belongs on the squad.
Yeah, I mean, he raced incredibly well at the Last Chance qualifier, taking the risk to come all the way to Anaheim to punch this ticket. And he was able to do that again, running a fast time on this course that was just not meant for fast running, 57 and change. And he's been in the World Championships. He finished 6th last year. So you're getting value out of this. Big time value pick.
Yeah. Experience has shown that he can do it on the big stage and that he keeps composed. He's not going to go out and try to lead it.
No. If it's his day, you will know at sled pull. He really does a great job on the pull. So he might come into that thing in 10th, but he could come out of it like in 5th.
Yeah, I agree.
Lauren, what you got? You have 1
I
dude and 2 female spots.
Oh, is that how it works? I'm going to take my 2 females then, because they come as a package deal as a doubles
There you
partnership
go.
in Zara Piergiani and Kate Davey.
There, you waited to take the
my
UK
2 Brits.
picks. You right at the very end. You got them on
My
the board.
UK picks. Zara Piergiani was very impressive in Cologne. The time she hit there was a minute faster than her. I mean, we spoke about the course, didn't we? But that was a minute faster than her personal best of the majors that year. She was on the podium in Manchester's Pro Division last year alongside Maria Fesick and Camila Massa. There is those 3. There's a lot of drive amongst them to level up and compete in the Olympic 15 this year, which they've all done. And now I think they will have fun taking it to the course and just showing how much they've improved over the course of 1 year. She's training with the Hogans. Zara is. So her running's great. She's been working on certain stations that she felt she underperformed on in Cologne. And she's got this massive group of support coming to kind of cheer her on. I think she told me it was like 18 people or something she's got coming to Nice to be her support squad. Which is really
You're going to have the Haley Adams shirts?
Kate Davey. The Haley Adams shirts. I'm glad Haley Adams had shirts.
That was awesome.
Kate, it's so good to see her back. Like, side note, great to see Haley Adams back at CrossFit. It's just it's a big deal for the CrossFit world to see her happy and healthy again. So yeah, really cool.
She just goes after it, man. Yeah, we'll talk CrossFit later.
Oh, she's an absolute animal. It's okay. We'll do that after the race, Rich.
Yeah.
You know, like we've got Hyrox to.
Correct.
Yeah. So Kate had a really emotional last chance qualifier. Whether that was anything to do with like kind of the drive that she had out on course, but there's been a lot of kind of health concerns in her family recently. And that was all happening during Cologne. So the fact that she turned up at that race, started that race, I think that was a win in itself at that stage. But to come away with a ticket to Worlds was a massive deal for Kate. Glad to kind of hear that those family issues are becoming a bit easier, like for her and her, and her family. But turning up at Worlds. She'll have them all there supporting her, and they, I think she'll want to run it. Like, I don't know how. Like, I know she's been quite open about it. I don't know how open she's been about it, but it's her son that was ill. When her son came back and out of hospital, he went off with his dad and PB'd his 5K. And I know that for her, seeing her son go through something just be like, yeah, I'm going to go run, and I'm going to go run my hardest, gives her so much emotional drive to go into this World Championship race. And like the amount of inspiration she has from her little boy is like, I think she'll kill it. Regardless of placing, she'll have probably one of the races of her career this weekend.
Well, now I want them both to do really well. Now we're all rooting.
Yeah.
Fan favorite. Yeah, that sounds. Those Brits, I'm glad you got them on your team.
She wasn't going to be able to go.
Both wonderful people. Very, very good people.
She was in danger of having to get bars on her windows if she didn't start picking some of her hometown athletes soon.
My hometown heroes. I'm in danger to put bars on my window anyway. Honestly, I'm going to be mortified to see everyone on Friday. I shouldn't do this. Why did I agree to this? I hate it.
Nobody listens to this. Nobody cares.
I really hope so.
All right. I have been debating on Alina Vil now for 2 rounds. So on this 3rd round, I got to take her.
Go for it.
She's shown us both, right? She's shown us flashes of both. And it's hard to predict what she's going to do, but I believe that she can be a top 5, top 7 athlete here. I'm not saying she's going to, but I believe she can. She's shown enough flashes that I believe in her as an athlete.
I think that's fair. And like the way that she showed up in the early portions of the season, show that that's true. She is a very strong athlete. The way that she finished out, leaves a little bit of wonder of how she is going to bounce back for this event, but maybe she just was given a second chance, basically. She probably thought her season was over, gave herself some time to rest, some decompress, physically, mentally. She could absolutely finish in the upper middle of this field.
In my saving grace, like the thing that gives me light here are the last chance qualifiers. People that we did not think were on the rise popped off. And so why can't she?
I like it. All right. I'm going with Graham Holiday because he kicked my butt in Chicago on those wall balls. If he's around, he might come into wall balls in 10th, but he might finish 5th. Like that, this race could be that close.
It's happened more than once.
It's happened. Yeah, we've seen it a couple of times, and he will be able to do that. And he's gonna fight, man. When he's out in that course, he's just intense. He's like yelling at himself, giving himself motivation. He's just grinding with everything he can. So he's gonna put everything he has into this race. So I got major value here, incredible value. I'm pumped to have him on the team.
He's a closer.
It's pretty outrageous. He's still on the board. He came 5th last year.
Right.
He was 2 spots away from a podium last year. He's like, it's mad that he was the last 2 left there, but
that's why
it's a stacked field. When you've got 15 elite athletes, like all 15 of them are pretty damn good.
I love this pick. I like this pick for one reason. I love it for another. I like it because he's going to be moving at the end, and that's instant value. And I love it because it means that with the way this works out, David Magida will be the last pick.
Oh no, David Magita's mine, bro.
We got him already in pen on Lauren's team. You got to take David Magida. But on the men's side,
I am happy to have David Magida.
You got him. You got him.
Yours.
I will have it. He's a super good dude, and we'll just ignore the fact that his back is basically in 2 pieces.
Yeah, that's no big deal. But chances are, he probably won't finish last.
No, I actually don't think he will. I think he'll surprise a lot of people this weekend.
It's his value.
What did he take
taking
last
the
year?
foot off the gas.
He finished in last.
Last year.
Have we had anyone ever go back to back last?
A double last?
Don't do that.
Have we?
Don't set that up as a storyline.
That's as
That-
difficult as winning back-to-back years. I firmly believe that.
No.
it could
Oh,
be
no.
equally as challenging. He won the
Like,
not
look at
gonna
the
sit
odds
here
for him
for
to
this
even get into this
conversation.
race, to even have the opportunity to take last again. Like,
It's
the universe is aligning for him.
it could happen.
I want him to
It's-
win it.
It's
Imagine.
in play if he wins it. Oh man.
No,
He's
Alright.
a
like-
regional champion. He's a North American champ.
He is.
Absolutely.
And he can compete with anyone when he's fit.
He belongs in the field, yeah. Like it's not like, oh, what's this guy doing here? Like he's a name that fits into this field. Yeah. That's all that's you, Lon. I'm taking Graham. And then I'm taking Maria Fetchik. Maria North
Excellent.
America. I think, Lauren, that's how you pronounce it. I don't know.
But shit.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's-
I'll
that's
check
what-
with her now. I'm gonna
that-
go and check with her when I
Yeah,
land.
check with her. We've been saying that on this show for a bit of time now. Maria's
That's
coached
definitely what
by
I've been saying.
Maria has been coached by Meg, and they've been putting in a lot of work on her running in particular. And she's a grinder, man. Like the way she finished that last chance qualifier, where she came into the wall balls in 5th place by a bit of a margin. I think it was 20 seconds or so, and then crossed the line in 3rd, knowing that she needed to dig deep to get it done. Like she's a competitor. She doesn't have a tremendous athletic background, so she's kind of like Camilla Massa from that perspective, where she's learning about herself each race and learning herself as an athlete with each week of training that goes by. So the amount of improvement that we could see from her is kind of hard to project. So she could have a really strong race. She's going to be competitive. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited that she made it. It was really fun watching her kick butt on those wall balls on the way in.
Your last 2 picks have the same skill set. They're going to close down on the wall balls and gobble people up.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, this team is looking nice. BK?
Anche Hardes.
Anche.
She will be the last female picked and not the last female across the line. I'm staking everything I own on that.
All right. She could also, I mean, she had a great race to come in. Again, put it all on the line to come out to this race. She ran in the World Championships last year, so she has the experience to get in this event. So she won't be afraid of the moment. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how she does.
She proved she could race to get here.
She took the opportunity, right? Like last chance
Mhm.
qualifier, and she literally quite literally ran with it.
Yeah, has to have faith in herself that way.
Leave that F there for Dave.
That's staying.
Magida!
Magita's the last pick.
Oh, Dave, I am so sorry that you are the last pick, and I am mortified that we did not pick you more because I'm going to have to spend a good part of the weekend with you.
That's the real reason why. You're like, oh,
I
damn.
am delighted that you are taking a slight step back from your athletic career because you get to be with us on the Hyrox team behind the scenes, making this great sport greater. The fact that you are actually racing makes my freaking week.
Was he going to be there and be like part of the production crew and like helping out with like in the booth? Because we know he has that experience.
They don't tell me things like that.
You
I
just
just
show
rock up and they tell me who's with me. I certainly had hoped he might be, but obviously not anymore.
He's got that experience.
He's got to get that
exactly.
elite double.
That's so brutal.
The double down.
Put on the resume. Double down.
BK, I'm not here for this chat.
Listen, you gave Rich Ryan a lot of grief prior to Chicago, and he came up to you and said, I believe in me, I'm going to get it done, and he did. And now we're doing the same thing for David Magida. I like David a lot. And nothing would make me happier than him pulling it off. But I take delight in him being picked last.
Yeah, poor man doesn't have the ability to pick himself.
Well, and like, what is he really? We voted him the 15th best person in the world.
Right.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, I know.
Still pretty good.
I know.
Still pretty good.
It's still very good.
All right,
Oh,
squad.
this was fun, boys.
We did it. Thank you so much for joining us today, Lauren. What should people be looking out for? Is there anything that you could share in terms of the live stream? 6:30 Central European time for the women, 8 p.m. for the men. There is an opening ceremony, I believe, at 5:30. The Hyrox World Championship app is pretty sick. They have a whole app on there that gives us all the information that we need. If you have not downloaded it, do it. BK, I don't know if you've seen this. You should, like, they have a tracking option in here, like how they would for like the New York Marathon or something. So it's worth just downloading to take a look and knowing what's going on and when. You could like look, there's race maps and
I think this is noon Eastern. It goes off in the U.S. Is that correct?
That sounds correct.
Noon 30.
12:30. Yeah, it has all of the
app.
Get the app. Lauren made it almost to the end. She was a champion for hanging around as long as she did. We'll wait around for a little bit. BK, what you got on the TRP?
Today we did how to go about handling running when the heat and humidity hits.
Oof.
Do expectations change? Do workout executions change? All that kind of good stuff.
It's not what you want.
Suddenly it hit. We're over 70% humidity again, and it's just soupy and nasty. And what do you do with it? That was the episode today.
It hasn't been warm over here, but it's humid for sure. And but your boy's been at sea level.
You feeling it
now? Yeah, and I got a couple chances to spice it up. You know, like we've talked about in the past, like get a couple of those workouts in. So I think I'm gonna be in a good spot.
I saw you churning and burning on that track.
I ran we are still recording. I did 3x800, just some spice.
Yeah.
I did like a 223, and I was like, huh. And then I ran 217, and I was like, I need to chill. I need to actually relax. And I was like, how much faster could I go than that? Maybe 7 seconds faster than that.
For sure. That day you could have.
I don't know. I did have those Rebellion Pro 2s on.
How they feel running on the track turning?
Okay.
Would you wear them for a track 5K?
I don't see why not.
What would you wear for a track 5K right now?
Takumi Sens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
You think you get more at 5K pace for those than the Rebellions?
It just doesn't feel on the ground, like just the feel of them, like being a little more.
I don't want to feel the ground in a 5K. I'm too slow for that.
Yeah, maybe. I wore the Rebellions in the 10K, and it felt kind of clunky. But it was a road 10K. Yeah, I was surprised. that it felt that way. Lauren, you're back. Thanks for joining us. I figured you were like, we're good. I got my team. I'm out.
I'm out.
But yeah, really, that's all.
So we drafted, right? We drafted.
But now we are out. Yeah.
Now we are actually out. Lauren, anything to plug?
I think you did a great job of doing it for me because I could still hear you. I just froze. With all of the live streams. Also, we will be live streaming the mixed relay on the Sunday. That's 5 p.m. UK time. So what's that? 6 p.m. CET. And I have no idea what that means for Americans.
We won't worry about it.
And I'm very excited about that because I think that will be arguably organized chaos. Whether we know who's running and when is going to be a real gamble.
That's
I believe you guys are +6 from the East Coast, right?
CET.
Yeah, I think.
UK, I think, is 5.
+5.
So
right?
it's. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I have to check it out on an app every time I make a call with someone from the US. I have no idea.
Everyone else can
Google
figure it out.
Calendar needs to do it for me.
Yeah.
But no, that's really cool. And hopefully we'll have a ton of great content as well. We start filming on Thursday. So hopefully we'll be doing lots of athlete content with those who will come and see us.
Cool.
CET is +6 from East Coast.
Okay.
There we go. Learn something new every day.
All right. That's it for us. Lauren.
Yeah. We've got a so delayed. You never guess I was in London. I'm in freaking London.
Yeah, we don't know
The
where
Wi-Fi
you're
is
at.
dreadful.
Hotels sometimes aren't the move.
Hotels, man.
But I appreciate you taking the time. It was super fun. I'll see you soon.
Lauren, it was a pleasure as
See you
always.
tomorrow or the day after. Cheers, Miko.